One thing you must keep in mind if you decide to settle here in Abu Dhabi, everyone can live their life as they see fit, and there are no taxes, with luxury easily accessible, a unique sense of community. Hi guys! In this video, I will share my experience after having spent 18 months in Abu Dhabi. It has now been 18 months since I've moved to Abu Dhabi with my husband and our children. We hear a lot about the Emirates, especially Dubai. We hear much less about Abu Dhabi. So I wanted to share my experience as a resident for 18 months now. I hope this will help you to get a better idea of what life is like here and what you can expect if you plan to move to Abu Dhabi. I am only sharing my own experience and opinion, and obviously everyone has different expectations. I won't be talking too much about the cost of living because I made a separate video, so I recommend you to watch it by clicking on the link on your screen or in the description below. So what it's like to live in Abu Dhabi. What does daily life look like in an ultra-modern city in the middle of the desert and developing so rapidly? Well, overall, it's a very positive experience. Life in Abu Dhabi is sweet. The place is idyllic. The quality of service of all kinds is among the best in the world, and the energy of the city and its inhabitants is truly inspiring. One of my first impressions upon arrival, apart from the heat and humidity, was the sense of space that the city provides. In several aspects, Abu Dhabi reminds me of the United States. One of the most enjoyable aspects of Abu Dhabi that directly impacts our daily life is, unsurprisingly, the climate. Even though this year we had more rain than usual, the climate here is very different from what we know in Europe, and seeing the sun and blue sky almost every day greatly affects your mood. It also affects our lifestyle as we spend much more time outdoors. For the children too, it makes a huge difference in their daily lives. They spend a lot of time outside, in parks, on playgrounds, where they can spend all of that energy and also make new friends. So all of that is true for about 3/4 of the year. As during the summer month, it's another piece of cake. Temperatures are very, very high, and the humidity level is such that it makes any kind of outdoor activity impossible. But the country is of course built with that in mind, in the sense that everything is air conditioned. So life goes on. You just need to adapt and change your habits to favor indoor and air conditioned spaces. For children who are used to exerting themselves with no limit outdoors, I must admit, it is sometimes quite difficult to manage. Another important point, it gets dark at about 6 p.m. all year round. Not that big of a deal, but still an adjustment, especially if you work in an office and it's already dark when you finish your shift. What makes life in Abu Dhabi very pleasant is the exceptional living environment for a capital city. The city is made of over 200 islands, so there isn't just one waterfront, but a multitude of waterfronts. No matter where you live, you are just minutes away from the waterfront, and there's also a good chance you can get a sea view from your place. Everything is clean, beautiful, new or relatively new, and quite green for a city in the middle of the desert. Between the mangrove, which is Abu Dhabi's lungs, and the multitude of green spaces and parks, one downside is that there is construction going on everywhere in the city, which is normal since Abu Dhabi is still developing. Some places have already changed quite a lot since we arrived. The advantage of Abu Dhabi is that you benefit from the infrastructure and everything a capital city has to offer without the inconvenience of crowds and traffic. Most streets are extremely wide, so in addition to give that sense of space, it also helps to ease the traffic. The population density is relatively low, and the very nature of the city, which spreads out over several islands, contributes even more to giving that sense of space. Above all, Abu Dhabi remains a human-sized city. Everything is in a relative proximity: the sea, the desert, the activities, even Dubai. So you don't waste time commuting, and all of this contributes to creating a very pleasant living environment. For many years in a row, Abu Dhabi has been named the safest city in the world. There is CCTV everywhere, whether in public or private spaces, and the penalties for offense and crime are very dissuasive. This greatly helps keep the crime rate very low. And in today's world, I consider this peace of mind a real luxury. We even end up changing our habits in the sense that we no longer lock our front door or car. We leave valuables visible, unattended. Packages are left in our front door and can stay there several days. You quickly get used to this carefreeness. The mindset of people here is quite different from what I've known in the various places I've got to live. And this is for two reasons, in my opinion. First of all, almost everyone here is an immigrant, far from their family and loved ones. This creates a unique sense of community. People are very open, approachable. They do not fear each other. They help each other as if they were recreating a family away from their own. The second reason is that most of the people who come to settle here do so for very specific reasons. They are not here by chance. They want to accomplish something. They have a goal, often professional or financial. So you are in a very stimulating and motivating environment which pulls you upwards. Everything is very accommodating. You can outsource all you don't want to do on a daily basis at a much more affordable rate than what you would pay in London. So you really have the opportunity to focus on the essentials, on your projects, and on your professional and personal goals. Abu Dhabi is an ideal place for families. Housings are quite often spacious. Getting around is easy. Nurseries and schools are of very good quality with new or almost new buildings. They are quite spacious and with lots of staff. You also have the possibility to easily hire a nanny. In many residences and compounds, at least the most recent ones, you have a kids pool and a play area where children can gather and make friends. All over the city, there are many different places dedicated to children, whether playgrounds, kids club, amusement parks, and all the extracurricular activities as well. On top of that, it's very easy to change scenery for the weekend and take the children camping in the desert, picnicking on the beach, go kayaking, or go on a boat trip. Overall, I would say the culture here is very child-oriented, in the sense that they are welcome everywhere and you can really feel it. For example, if you go with the buggy at the restaurant, everyone will try to accommodate, make space. The waiter will bring a baby chair immediately, sometimes also coloring books. And there are restaurants and cafes where the concept is to have their own playground inside their facilities. So yes, you generally earn more money here and there are no tax except for the VAT and the municipality fees. But the cost of living is generally higher and there are no free public services. So we spend a lot just for normal functioning with no extra. You have to really manage your budget, especially if you're here, like most of the people, to put more money aside, because it's quite easy to get carried away by the luxurious life that surrounds us, whether fine restaurants, the beach clubs, nice hotels, etc. One thing you must keep in mind if you decide to settle here in Abu Dhabi is that the initial setup is quite costly. Many things are paid annually and in advance, and there are also many unforeseen expenses, so make sure you plan in advance and have enough savings to cover your setup and your first year. I am always amazed by the quality of restaurants and hospitality in general here. The food is mostly really excellent. The service is top-notch. The premises and decor is often splendid and even very luxurious, without it being reflected too much on the bill, or at least to a lesser extent than what it would be in the UK, for example. It's always very clean, even in the toilets. In fact, not just in restaurants and hotels, but also every public toilets are always spotless. One last point about the use of technology, which is incredible here. Everything is digital. There is no mail and there are no individual mailboxes for that matter. If you really need to receive mail, then you have to pay for a PO box. And everything goes through applications. For example, all the government services, the police, tolls, etc. A lot of things go through WhatsApp as well. You can use it to book any kind of appointments, whether medical appointments or table at a restaurant. You use it for deliveries, for different services. It's a bit unsettling at first because it's a change in our habits, but you get used to it quickly because it's so practical, fast and efficient. So that's it for my personal experience living in Abu Dhabi. I take a very positive view of this 18 months here. We absolutely do not regret our choice to move here, even though, of course, moving away from family and friends is never easy. The quality of life we have here is way superior to what we had previously in London, but it's also very different and difficult to compare. Above all, what I would like to say is that everyone can live their life as they see fit in Abu Dhabi. You can live a super normal, simple life, but you can also live a very extravagant and luxurious life. And you can also live something in between, with luxury easily accessible for small pleasures from time to time. I hope I covered most of the topic, but if you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. Please hit the like button and also do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you and see you soon.